Hello everyone, in this video we are going to build this graphical user interface calculator with PyQt5 using the Qt designer and PyQt5 itself. So let us look at how it works. As you can see, we have numbers from 0 to 9 and the arithmetic operators also there with our buttons which are colored nicely. So I can just do 1 plus 3 and I'll press the equal button and I'll get 4. I can also do maybe 3.14. Okay, I have to clear it first. 3.14 times 5 minus 9 plus 2 divided by 7. And I'll still get my answer. I can actually also type the numbers in there. So 1000 plus 5. When I press enter, I get my value. Now also I can delete the numbers, or I can this button deletes them one by one starting from the right, and this one will clear all of them. So let us start building it from scratch. Here I've opened my Qt designer and I'll choose main window to get started. So I'll just create. This size is too much. I just need a small size. And I'll remove the menu bar for now. I don't need it. There's also a status bar. I will remove it. I don't need it for now. And then I'll put 2 frames. One which I will call the top frame. I don't need to really try my best to style it or to fit it to the screen. We use layouts to do that. You know, layouts make our screens or our objects responsive. So this is the top frame. That's the name I'll give to it. I'll need another one which I will call the bottom frame. And then inside the top frame is where I put my line edit, the answer box. So looking for my line edit, just one. And then I will name it here as answer box. So this side is the name that we use in Python and to connect functions to our UIs. If I do a quick preview of this one, you will see that the text, they start coming in from the right. From the left, I don't want it this way. I want it from the right also. So I'll come down here. The properties for the alignment, for the horizontal, I will align right. And then I'll increase my font size also to 14. So now when I preview it, see that the text is coming from the right, and then it is also large enough. And then here is where I'll put my buttons. So my push button right here. The first one, I'll just give you the number 1 for now. This is what we'll duplicate. So the font size here also should be 14, large enough. And then this one, I will arrange them in a grid. So I'll just copy by Control-C, Command-C on Mac, and then I'll paste it with Control-C, Control-V on Windows, Command-C on Mac. So I'll paste it 2 more times. So I get 4 on this side. And then I'll select all 4 by holding Control and clicking on them or Command on Mac. And then I'll copy it, paste them again, put them at this side, paste it again, put it at this side. I think we need 1 more. Yes. And then what I'll do is now I'll change the names on this one. This is the dots. This is 0. So I'll repeat it for all of them, but once I change it here also, I should change it here to btn dot. So make sure you change the the one that the user will see here and then the one that we will use in Python here. So I'll continue it for all of it and I'll get back to you shortly. Okay, so you can see that this is done, but these ones had colors with them. When you right click on any widgets here, you can come to the style sheet section. If you are familiar with CSS, you can write some CSS here to apply any styling, any CSS styling to the widget, that particular widget on our form. So what I'll do here is for the equal, I'll choose the background color, which will be this color, this green. And I'll add a foreground color, that's the color of white. When I click apply, you see that it changes to that color. And I'll do the same for the AC also. The background color was this shade of red. And then the foreground color will also be white. For this color, I'll choose any shade of red like this. And then, no, that is not supposed to be the color, that's supposed to be the background color. And then now the color to be white. So when I click OK, that one also applies. But you can see that our buttons are not really laid out well. So you can select that particular frame here for the buttons. If you are finding difficulty clicking on it here, you can always come to the object inspector and click on it. It will also select it for you. Then I want to lay this one out in a grid. So once I click on the grid layout, see that it lays it out nicely for me. And then I'll come to the top frame also, want to lay this one out. But since it's just one widget in there, it doesn't really matter whether we use the horizontal or vertical, but I'll use the horizontal layout. Now we can see that the two are nicely laid out, each one in its frame, but not in the window. So if we preview it now, you see what I'm talking about. See that they are nicely laid out, each one in its frame, but not in the window. So what we can do is to make sure that we select the central widget here in the object inspector. And then for this type of case, we have to give it a vertical layout. And then it will lay them out vertically for us. But I think the size is too much, so I have to reduce it down to this side. And then let's preview it and see what we have. Okay, so this is what we have. And you can maximize it to make it responsive. But you see that when it is now in full screen, there's a lot of space up and down. So we can work on that one also. We can select the top frame from here or from this side also. And then we can set the maximum size, this maximum size. But that will be defined. So that is the maximum size it should go. The width, we don't really care about it, but we can make this one, say, 80 for now. Let's see. Okay, so now you see that it's 80, but the buttons also are not really responding. You can work around that one if you also want to do it that way. So I'll go ahead and then save this form, but before that, I'll want to change the name so that it says main window. When we preview also, you see the same name. I want to change it to calculator. So I'll select the main window, and then in the property editor, I'll change the window title to calculator. And then now I can now save it using this key up here, and then I can come in here. I'll create a new folder, call it calculator, and then it's inside there that I will save this URL file with the name calc.ui. Now it is saved. So let us see how we can get the code and then start working with it. Back inside PyCharm, this is where my calculator UI file is. You can see that's the only file in there. So what I can do is I will right click on it and then open in Explorer. When I have it open in my Explorer like this, you can see that is the only file here. If you have Windows Terminal or Git Bash installed, you can right click on it and then open that particular folder in that particular terminal. But if you have none of them installed, you can click here and type cmd and then hit enter. That will open cmd in this particular directory. But I'll go ahead and then use the Windows Terminal. I prefer that one. So this is my Windows Terminal. When I do ls, you can see that's the only file in there is the calc.ui. But in order to convert the UI file to a Python file, what I will type is PyQt5, which came with a PyQt5 and PyQt5 tools installation. And I will give a flag of -x, lowercase x, which is the flag for the UI file that will be converted to the Python file. So in here I type calc.ui. Please don't forget the extensions. Then another flag, which is hyphen and then the small letter O, which will be the name of the Python file that I want to generate. So calc.py now. When I press enter, if I don't see any errors, then it means my Python file is generated. So I can check by doing a quick ls. You can see that now there's a Python file also generated. And when I come back to the folder, I see the Python file also. So let us go into PyCharm and then open it up and see. When I open the Python file up in PyCharm, this is what I see. I will delete these comments. And then I can see that it created a class of UI main window, and that is because that is the name of our main window, the object name. That is the object name of our main window. We can choose to name it anything. And then it wrote all this code for us, was generated from the UI. It's generated them automatically. We don't have to type all of them. So if I right click and then run calc, I'll see this UI. Of course, it does nothing. It does nothing. But this is not the theme, the one I want, the style I want. You know my style already, so I'll set the style quickly. And the next time around, when I run it, I see my Fusion style. That's the way I want it. Yeah. So what we have to do is now to write the functions to get our numbers. Of course, we can type in here for now. When you press equal to, nothing will happen. Nothing that's happening because you have not written any functions for them. I like to keep my functions in between the setup.ui, which is this one, and the read translate UI, which is this one. So between the two of them, I put my functions there. But it should be on the same indentation level as the methods themselves. So here, we write a function for the pressing of the button. That when the button is pressed, we want to get the number and put it in the answer box. So this will have another optional parameter there. So what we want to do first is to get the number which we get from the text of the particular button and then set it inside the answer box. So what we do is self.answerbox dot. In this case, set text will not work. I will show you why it will not work shortly. But for now, let me just type set text because that is what we have been using to insert text into our text edits for all our previous tutorials. But it will not work this time around. I'll show you what will work. Here we can now say number. So if you press number 1, it will set number 1 onto the answer box and all that. So inside the setup.ui, I also create my connections there. That is where I create my connections. It should be a comment. So let us try and then write it for one function, one button. So self dot, and here you type the name that you gave it in the object name, that is the object name. So for my button 1 is btn1. That is the name I will use here. So self.btn1.clicked.connect. I want to connect self.pressed. I told you before that you don't call the functions in here, that you don't bring the parentheses, but if you have to bring it, in this case, because we want to pass 1 in here, so that 1 will be passed in as number and then will be set to the answer box, but this one should be a string, else it will throw an error. So we want the str of number. But this one will automatically raise an error, and you see that. Let me run it, and then you see. It says type error, argument has one unexpected, and that is because we are passing this one here. But if we necessarily have to pass things here like this, we can use lambda, just lambda and then a colon, and then we can pass in whatever thing we want to pass this. Now when we run it, we'll not get any error. When we press 1, you see 1 is displayed here. So what I'll do is I'll repeat this logic for all the buttons, and I'll get back to you shortly. So now I have it for all the buttons. So when I run it now, when I press, and then the buttons show. But this is why I said we cannot use the set text, because anytime we click a new number or operator, you see that the previous one is erased and then the new one comes in. So the quick fix is, instead of set text, we now use insert. So what the insert will do is that to insert it at the end for us. So now when we run it, we can click and then they will not be erased. So let us work on a equal to. This function will also be called equal. And here we need to get the content of the answer box. So content is equal to self.answerbox.text. This one will get us the content in the answer box, but we want to strip it first. We don't want any issue. So if the person just types spaces after it or before it, we want to strip them all off. And then we want to get the answer also, which will be eval. And then we want to evaluate what is coming in. So we want to evaluate the content. Eval will just do the computation for us. We can use it to evaluate expressions. We have seen this before in some previous tutorial. Then after that, we set the text to self.answerbox.setText. This time around, we want to set text to answer. But this eval will output a number if the expression passed in is a mathematical expression. So we have to now go str, and then now we pass the answer. Other than that, to throw an error, because you can only pass the string inside the text edit. So what we can do also now is to create a connection for the equal button to self.btn. I think it should be btn equal, okay, right here. .clicked.connect. We want to connect it to self.equal without the open and close parentheses. Now when we run our code now, so 8 plus 2 equal to, then now we have 10. So we can 109 minus 6, this. We can just put in any expression that we want, and then it will use, no matter how we put it, this will still be done. Okay, I think I really pushed it to the limit, but if we put in all the expressions, times 2 minus 3 plus 9, this thing will still be evaluated. But what is not working now is our two buttons here, the delete and then all clear. Let us work on them quickly. So for the all clear, that will be simple to do. So let's do that one first. So all clear. Here we simply type self.answerbox.clear, whatever is in there you want to clear it. So we can create our connection here. Self.ptn, I think I said all clear, yes. .click dot we want to connect it to self.allClear without the open and close parentheses. Now, whatever we type in, you can also take keyboard input like I'm doing, and then all clear will clear everything for us. And so what we can do now is to work also on the one that will delete just one from it. So we can create the connection now. I think it's called btn clear. And then this place we can just say clear. This function we have not created, we are about to create it soon. So let us define the clear function. And in here, we repeat the same process as this. So we also have to get the content, the current content, then we just delete one from it and then add it again. So it's called to self.answerbox.test.strip. And then we want to now self.answerbox.setText, not the set font. I'm looking for the set text. We want to set it to content. And then because it's a string, we can use this indexing to work with it. And we are looking for anything from the start to the last but one. So anything from the start to the last but one. This is actually the last index. And the last but one is this one. So let us test it out. If I have multiple numbers here, I delete. Okay, it actually deletes two. I think it's the -1 itself. Type in some things. And then now you can see that it's deleting them one after the other. As for the logic, this is not so much of a complex calculator. And in fact, if I perform any operation and then I hit equal to, I get my answer. If I want to perform the next, I have to manually click the all clear. Other than that, it will still keep the old value and then add a new one. As for those logics, I will not write it in this video. You can do them on your own and make this calculator, customize it as much as you want. So that will be all for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Link to the file will be in the description below. If you have any problems, you can download it, work with it, and also drop your problems in the comments, and myself or anybody from the Codebase family will come and address it. And as I said, that will be all for this video. Thank you for your time. I will see you another time with another video.